You got it. Carry on.
Okay, thank you for having me today. I want to especially thank Jack Westford for inviting me. I'm here in your book review time slot to talk about some books I recommend if any of you want to start on your own writer's journey. I'm not going to actually review my books because that would probably be cheating, but I will tell you a bit about them. I'm the author of Grizzly Boy, and this is a book about a boy who wakes up one day and decides he is in fact a grizzly bear. Trouble ensues. I'm also the writer of Stubby the Fearless Squid. This is about a scaredy squid who decides he is brave enough to get a pen pal, only to end up with a terrifying razor clam. Trouble ensues. And the latest is Cliff the Failed Troll, the story of a troll who flunks out of troll school and decides to sign up for pirate school instead. As you can imagine, trouble ensues. Because if you're going to write fiction, you need trouble and lots of it to make things interesting. So they actually say my job as a writer, and if you want to write fiction, your job is to send your main characters up into a tree and then throw rocks at them. So that's the kind of trouble you want. And if you're interested in doing that, in either writing, say, a screenplay or a novel, the books I recommend are Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. This is the go-to screenplay book. And Save the Cat writes a novel by Jessica Brody. Now, as you can see, sometimes you can tell a book by its cover because that cat is already in trouble, and that's what you need for fiction. If you want to write memoir, I'm pretty sure the same rules apply. So if you haven't gone out and caused a lot of trouble, I suggest you do so immediately, and that will make it interesting. If you want help book-wise in doing that, not the causing trouble part, but the writing part of it, Natalie Goldberg's Old Friend from Far Away, the practice of writing memoir, hopefully you can see that okay, is the go-to book for that. If you want to write for children, as I do, the book that got me started is a classic with a very obvious title. It's How to Write a Children's Book and Get It Published by Barbara Suling. And hopefully you can see that okay there. I'll make sure you have the list of these recommendations. And then if you have, let's say you have a special skill or some knowledge you want to impart through nonfiction, the go-to book there would be William Zinsser's On Writing Well. Now, as far as your writing habits go, the first thing that I would suggest is setting a small daily goal. I would say write for 15 minutes a day or even say a page a day. But if you're going to go the page route, you have to remember to be very kind to yourself. This should not be a perfect page. It should actually be a messy, awful page. I think the biggest roadblock for people who have a book inside of them in getting it outside of them and onto a bookstore shelf is that they want it to be fabulous the first time it's written down. And really, good writing is always about the rewriting. And just as an example, with Cliff the Failed Troll, it's about 600 words. It was 6 months of rewriting. But don't let that discourage you. It's actually a lot of fun to get in there and mess around. And it's a lot easier to do when you have that bad book draft on the page. Trust me, that's easier than fixing and editing words that are in the air or in your brain. Now, a couple of books that I recommend for starting your writing habit is Natalie Goldberg's Writing Down the Bones. That's a very good classic. And Anne Lamott's Bird by Bird. I hope that you find this helpful. And like I said, I can give you the list for your newsletter if you like, if you're interested. Also my contact information, and you are welcome to contact me anytime through my website at barbaradavispyles.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Barb, are you a member of a writers group here as well?
Yes, I am. I'm a member of SCBWI, which is the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And we have a local division. We've been meeting on Zoom for the past year and a half, but we typically meet at the Barnes & Noble in town.
Very good. Well, thank you very much.
The illustrations?
Thank you.
Barb,
Pardon me?
you do the illustrations?
I do not, but in fact, I'm working on my next book now that I'm doing some illustrations.